with just massive head and jaws and massive feet with claws. I did a little rhyme there. I did a little rhyme there for all of you. You're welcome. Hey everybody. Today is the first of a series of videos where I'm going to be just talking about a different dinosaur each time because I love dinosaurs, and honestly it's a shocker that I haven't started a series like this sooner. Basically like the kind of like who, what, when, where, why, how questions and answers about various dinosaurs. This is just an excuse basically for me to talk about something I really enjoy talking about. So yeah, and I figured what better first video than one where people probably already know the information, and I'll basically just be telling you what you already know, which will make some great background noise or something. And what I mean by that, I know the mouse clicking just got picked up on the mic, so I'm sorry about that. I'll try to keep that to a minimum. And what I mean by that is that today we're going to be talking about Tyrannosaurus rex. Now, Tyrannosaurus rex, the first part of this name, is Greek in origin. It's derived from the word tyrannos, meaning tyrant, and sauros, meaning lizard. Tyrant lizard, and then the rex part comes from Latin and means king. Tyrant lizard king. We all know this. That's basically the first line in most kid dinosaur books, a bunch of which I still have on my bookshelf from when I was younger. As far as discovering it went, there are teeth that were found as early as 1847 in Colorado that have been later confirmed to be T-Rex teeth, but it wasn't until Barnum Brown famously went to Montana in 1900 and 1902 and discovered two partial skeletons in the Hell Creek Formation, and a few years later, in 1905, it got the name Tyrannosaurus rex from Henry Fairfield Osborn, who was the president of the American Museum of Natural History, of which Brown was the assistant curator of. They were all buddies. As far as that goes. And funnily enough, I found this very funny. I didn't know it before I started doing research for the video. Osborn originally named the second skeleton that Brown found a different name completely, calling it a Dynamasaurus, before realizing that they were the same species in 1906 and choosing Tyrannosaurus rex as the official name. However, in 2018, another new Tyrannosaurid was named Dynamaterror dynastis, I think I pronounced that correctly, to honor that mistake, which was over 100 years after the original Dynamasaurus had been named and then unnamed, because it was just the T-Rex, and they chose that one instead. Imagine a world where instead of deciding to keep the name Tyrannosaurus, he kept the name Dynamasaurus. Our entire culture would just be slightly different, and I like to think that there's another alternate universe where that happened. And in that alternate universe, I'm making this video right now about if there was an alternate universe, which would be this universe where it's called Tyrannosaurus. Okay, I'll stop that now. That's way too much of a rabbit hole to go down. So most people are aware of this. Tyrannosaurs were a type of dinosaur, and they lived all over the globe. Tyrannosaurus rex specifically lived in North America 66 million years ago in the late Cretaceous. In the late Cretaceous, the North American continent was actually split in two by a massive sea. On one side, the Appalachians was on the eastern side, and then what used to be an island that we now refer to as Laramidia has become the American West. So while T-Rex was dominating in Laramidia, the area that's now Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, kind of everywhere that you'll find T-Rex fossils, it never really got around to the East Coast and the Appalachians, and that's why it just never got there, because there's this giant sea in the middle of it. I have a graphic. I don't know why I'm moving my hands so much. The biggest specimen of the T-Rex that's been discovered is over 12 meters long, which is a little over 40 feet. It was covered in scales and probably feathers, but most likely not the kind of feathers you'd see on a bird today. Though the image of a 40-foot-tall chicken is terrifying, T-Rex's feathers were most likely coarse and not as fluffy as the ones modern birds have evolved. We know that because earlier ancestors of the T-Rex, like Dai Long, have been found with fossilized feathers. So it's an easy, educated guess that the T-Rex would have had feathers as well. Not only that, but there have been skin impressions of T-Rex discovered that prove it had scales, and there seems to be places for feathers to belong that had fallen out before the specimen got fossilized. And it was also a lot warmer and more arid back in the Cretaceous than it is today. The world is generally cooler, I believe, even though there is an uptick as of late. back in the Cretaceous, completely different story. Beyond the skin and feathers, T-Rex had massive jaws with teeth the size and shape of modern-day bananas. Rather than making tasty bread or muffin, the teeth of a T-Rex could crush through bone, scales, skin, muscle, basically anything that a T-Rex could have wanted to take a bite of back in that day. It could have done that. Not only that, but it was constantly losing and regrowing teeth like a shark does, so it didn't have to be as careful as we humans do once we get our adult teeth, because we only have one set of those. Once we have those, if we lose those, we need to get dentures, or like we're just done. Because of that, dinosaurs like Edmontosaurus and Triceratops have been found with broken T-Rex teeth still embedded in them, either from their death or even attacks that injured them but didn't kill them. And we can tell that it injured them and didn't kill them because there's like the tooth stuck in them, and then their bones continued to grow for several more years, or many more than that, before they died, and that's how we could tell that that happened. Another iconic part of T-Rex are his tiny, tiny, tiny little arms. Nobody's quite sure why the arms were so small or what they could have been used for, or if they have any use at all. There's a lot of theories. Some think it was to hold prey close. Some people think it was something to do with mating, and some people think that if the dinosaurs hadn't gone extinct, T-Rex's arms might have slowly evolved into nothingness, leaving it with just massive head and jaws and massive feet with claws. I did a little rhyme there. I did a little rhyme there for all of you. You're welcome. As for the diet, which it used those jaws and claws to hunt with, the Tyrannosaurus rex mostly filled its belly with Triceratops and Edmontosaurus, which were basically the big game of the Cretaceous in this area. In the same area of the West that's filled with T-Rex fossils, we can find those two in abundance as well. Some have posited that T-Rex is a scavenger and not a hunter, but the fact that it has such powerful weapons as legs and jaws doesn't make much sense. The common consensus these days is that T-Rex hunted in packs, and they found something to scavenge, they'd eat that as well, which is basically the equivalent of you going out for food and passing a free pizza stand on the way there, and you're not just going to ignore free food, even if you are fully capable of going and buying some food for yourself. So there's a lot of discourse about that specifically. As of late, it's kind of been like an on and off topic in the paleontology community for many years. But most people agree that like it was probably a mix of the two, because it doesn't quite make sense that he would just be this crazy killing machine with jaws that can crush bone and kill if it wasn't using it for that. It would have evolved differently if it was going to be exclusively a scavenger. It's also posited that tyrannosaurs were probably cannibals. We have fossil evidence showing that like earlier versions of tyrannosaurs, not specifically Tyrannosaurus rex, as far as I know, did engage in cannibalism. And, you know, if you're off scavenging and you find a carcass of a dead Tyrannosaurus, then you would probably eat that as well. It's basically, yeah, listen, I'm not gonna get into cannibalism today, because quite frankly, it makes me feel kind of sick, so we're not gonna talk about that. Yeah, as far as sources go, those are all going to be in the description, and that's kind of where I got all my information that I didn't already know. Like, obviously with the T-Rex, it's a lot easier to just know things and not be quite sure where you knew them, but some of the dinosaurs that I'm going to cover later in the series are a lot more obscure, or like lesser talked about, and it'll be a lot of fun to kind of delve into that research, which I'm looking forward to. But like I said, I was just wanting to start off real easy with a very simple one that a lot of people knew about, just to kind of like get into this. I'm also going to be posting videos a lot more often. I have a schedule, and I'm going to try to stick to it. You're going to be getting a dinosaur video 2 days a month, and a conspiracy video 1 day a month, and then another little series that I have planned that I haven't started yet on the other day a month. So 4 weeks in a month. Every other week is going to be dinosaur. Every other week is going to be something else. But I will do my best to stick to that, because in the past I had been really, really regular about posting. In the past couple of years, I kind of stopped doing that. But I'm going to be doing that more now, and I'll have a little more like theme to all the videos that I'm doing than I did in the past. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. They're going to be pretty quick, pretty easy, but just give me a little chance to talk about something I really, really enjoy and like learning about, and I hope someone out there likes learning about it from me. Go ahead and like, subscribe if you want to check out my merch, which has some of these designs, some of my logo designs, and some Vibe Central designs. We're also going to get another design out there soon. I just need to keep finishing all the details of that merch release, but that is going to be the first link in the description below, and then below that it'll have all the sources that I used. And thank you so much for watching. Hasta la pasta. I'll see you next time.